April the 1st, 2016, and Japan has just announced that they're going to donate $50 million to the Nuclear Proctologist Defense Fund against Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution and the University of Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. $50 million. So they just gave me $50 million bucks. I was too busy screaming. That's why I'm late this morning. What are we going to do with all that money? $50 million from Japan to fight the NuclearProctolgist here in Canada and Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution. Oh, by the way, did I mention it was April Fool's morning? No, I probably didn't mention that before I said that, did I? A lot of people out there now going, Dana, how could you? How could you? I don't know. It just came right out of my mouth. It was just like that. Here it was. Oops. Everybody's clicking away now. Everybody's like, screw you, Dana. Damn it. Morning, everybody. Let's come over and say hi to everybody. We had a tough morning. I've been at this for hours trying to get this thing to stream. And I was making a simple mistake when I deleted the other one because of the problems. This morning I was trying to import cancer, and one of the headlines, a screen capture of a headline I got, has a virus in it. That's from a couple of years ago. Brutal. I don't know if we got it, but anyway, I screwed my computer. And so yesterday was a nightmare. Good morning, Bruce. Good morning, Nash. Hi, Kay. I see Kate is in there. Good morning, Kate. And she was booted off all day yesterday on the stream. Kate got the Fukushima hounds. And on my... Kay got Fukushima hounds, and on my... Hang on a second. Kay got Fukushima hounds, and you can find her at my YouTube channel under my videos, a link to her. And then you'll find... Let me see. Done deal. And so you can donate to Kate. There's a link directly to her PayPal where you donate. You click on that link below my videos on YouTube, and it'll take you right to her account, so you can donate directly into her PayPal account. It's a good thing to do. She's been at this a long time. She's never asked anything of anybody. And I know yesterday people did help her out. And I know she's ecstatic that she got any help at all. Not that she's asking for it. I'm asking for it. And that was well received yesterday, and I can't thank people enough. I really can't for what they've done, for just starting that motion and making it real. And I know there's so many people out there working hard, and I don't mention them, and I don't try to help them because I'm not able to keep up with it myself. I'm just not able to do the things I want to do on top of that. But I got to learn to help people out. Morning, Chris. Good morning, everybody. Nash just got himself banned. If he was joking, well, that was a big mistake. Don't joke on my site. Get your ass banned. Let's get on with the show. Maybe we got a show today. Who knows? Japan, because it takes us 5 minutes to get up to speed. Japan, and like, you got to realize how much agony I've went through in the last 4 or 5 days trying to make this happen. We had all kinds of issues. I finally got them just solved a few minutes ago, I'm pretty sure. We're streaming, so. The tsunami came through the country. Well, first off, the Japanese earthquake, that traveled at 9,000 miles per hour. 9,000 miles per hour. So it hit Florida in about a half an hour. It shook the country for 6 minutes, like a wet blanket, in the wind. The blanket still wiggles. Yeah. Not like a dry blanket where it flops completely around. Even though that is what happened. You know, like a 9.0 earthquake is producing 1 to 3 G ground forces. That means at 1G you can't even stay on your feet. So it rocked that country for 6 minutes. It was 7,000 times worse than Christchurch, 1,000 times worse than Haiti. These were devastating earthquakes, but just to give you some context. And then tsunamis, 400 miles of the coastline. The tsunami came in, and this is roughly an area where it killed people. And the red numbers you see, the squares, the bigger the square, the more people died if you can't read the numbers. And the numbers are very high numbers in red are the people that died. And then the yellow numbers are the people that are missing. So look at that. Now, here's Fukushima, is the fourth one on your top right-hand side down. You'll see 6 power plants. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm sorry, the third one down. The next one is Dina. That one was destroyed also. We're going to cover a lot of that. There was 15 reactors along that coastline were destroyed. I'm going to show you the meltdowns at Japan that are confirmed. This is Unit 1. This is Unit 2. These are 100% meltdown, melt-through, melt-outs. This is Unit 3. And this is Unit 4. Now, Unit 4, they tore it all down, and then they showed you pictures of a beautiful pool on the interior. And so they brought in this truck because the building looks like this and like that, not like this, not like that. Is that very hard for anybody to wrap their mind around? Okay. Where's all the other fun stuff I got there? So you got 4 meltdowns, melt-throughs, and melt-outs. The country was washed away in a wood chipper, and it killed those people on that coastline. Now, it also, those 4 buildings I just showed you produced over 30 million, not 10 million like media is reporting. 30 million bags confirmed. 30 million 1-ton bags. You could wrap the planet 5 times in 1-ton trucks. If you put a 1-ton bag in each truck, because that's what a 1-ton truck will hold. And so these buildings were destroyed. There's 4 of them, right? And so Unit 1, 2, 3, and 4. Number 4 was the one that come out and I just showed you that deceived you about. It lost everything. So when they said if number 4 goes, bye-bye Japan, and you have to evacuate North America, well, guess what? Bye-bye Japan, and we got to evacuate North America. Oh, I see what's going on there. Yeah, I see what's going on there. Hang on a second. I'll come in and fix that right quick here. Because I had that set up for the guitar, right? And then I'm supposed to come in and set everything back to normal before I show any kind of pictures in the background or anything. So we'll come back over. Now the pictures look pretty again. See, it looks a lot better now, don't it? So that's Unit 4. In the background, that's 4 reactors we're talking about. If I come back over here, 30 million bags. Now that's what they clean up around the country, okay? 30 million bags clean up around the country. Now these bags are only meant to last a year. They're highly radioactive. That's just from the fallout from the 4 buildings, right? That's the fallout. You know, just because they showed you these are the official pictures. That's the official inside picture of the official outside picture. That's the official inside picture of the official outside picture of number 4. Does that make any sense to anybody? But 30 million bags, see, this is why we say the radiation has killed the Pacific, because 30 million bags is nothing that they cleaned up from 4 lousy buildings that not right there at the site, but all over the country. Not even all over the country, all over Fukushima Prefecture. So they brought in these big trucks for that pool there, because that's what they showed you, but it actually looks like this, but actually there's no pool there because the pool was up high on the roof. And so all these people died along the coastline, because of the tsunami. Not from the earthquake, but from the tsunami. And the power plant is right there. You got 15 reactors in that area. Think about Chernobyl. Was only one reactor, was 1/3 the size of any of the reactors in Japan. And Chernobyl was a 30% meltdown. Chernobyl stopped after 10 days. Fukushima didn't stop, see? But 14 reactors at 4 sites were affected on 3/11. And here's an interesting one where the governor strongly demanded TEPCO decommission and dismantle all 10 reactors. He wanted all 10 reactors from Fukushima and Daiichi because the tsunami ran through that place. They had no power. They melted down. That's why there's 30 million bags. They just didn't bother telling you about that. But see, that's why there's 30 million bags, because there was multiple reactors throughout the country. So Daiichi, so extreme situation, though not much has been broadcast. An extreme situation, though not much has been broadcast. Okay. Are you gullible? Are you going to believe them, or are you going to believe 15 of the plants were shut down due to damage? Are you going to believe all these headlines, or are you just going to believe the PR firms, the nuclear public relation firms, that are thugs? They come at you, look like very cute, but turn your back on them, and it's spider farms everywhere. Cooling system. So many reactors. Like, look at the reactors, boiling 1 million gallons a minute. That's why they got these big stacks. And you see why that steam is traveling so high? It's not traveling that high. Like, think of a house fire. Does a house fire look like that? Does, when you're burning campfire, does the smoke go straight up and you can sit up close to the fire? Or does the smoke just come right around you all the time? You know how it lingers, forest fire 10 miles away, and you can look outdoors and you can't see across the street. But look at this stuff. It's going up high because it's so hot. Right? They're boiling water to produce electricity, but each glass of water has 1 billion creatures in it, and each reactor is going through 1 million gallons a minute, 24 hours a day, 1,440 minutes a day. So 1,440 minutes a day. This thing is killing every minute. Each reactor, there's 440 reactors out there, and each reactor is boiling 16 million times 1 billion creatures per minute. Clean, green, carbon free, right? How is that possible when it's destroying dude, get out your calculators, get them out, and do 1 million gallons divided by glasses of water, and a glass of water has 1 billion creatures. And 75 to 100 million of those creatures in each glass, and 16 million glasses a minute, and 440 reactors. Get out your calculators and do your numbers. I'm not talking to the people that understand what I'm talking about. I'm talking to the pro-nuclear crowd that won't listen to another narrative and come here to mock me and ridicule me and attack me and demonize me and vilify me and marginalize what they've been doing since I started. None of them will get a marine biologist and go look at the pictures I got up at the Nuclear Proctologist. How interesting is that? How interesting that I come ashore after 15,000 miles, 260 days on the ocean, 2,000 pictures average a day for most days of the coastline with GPS documentation showing an extinction event. And 4.2 million other species didn't receive the coastline. No one bothers to mention that. No marine biologist comes out and supports me. And then the 2,000 nuclear PR firms don't have many targets, are attacking me on every blog and every website and every venue on the planet. And then I was arrested when I came ashore before I can produce a documentary, and then destroyed and vilified and bankrupted. And then the internet had to support me. The internet had to rally. And the internet did. It produced 60 articles after I was demonized in the media across Canada, and came out and eviscerated the alleged victims. There are PR firms from Woods Hole. These are nuclear puke machines, nuclear mass murderers. These people are responsible for millions and millions of cancers by telling people to go ahead and eat the product from the Pacific Ocean. I went out and documented the coastline. They went out into the deep sea, took samples, and said they didn't find any tracers. They didn't even look for the other 12,000 man-made radioactive isotopes. 10,000 of them are classified. There's actually, if I remember correctly, there's around 5,500 declassified. We know there's over 10,000 classified. No one knows what India or Pakistan or Canada or America or anybody else is really producing, or Israel, or these stupid, idiotic, moronic, mass murdering a handful of corporations and the people that work for them. You know, think of a nuclear scientist, got an education. He knows that potassium-40 got nothing to do with something that comes out of a reactor. That's why we have terrorist laws. That's why we have nuclear waste sites. I'm so happy. I'm just going to stop right there for a second. I'm so friggin' happy that I'm streaming today. I'm so grateful that I'm streaming. You can't imagine it. The misery that I've gone through in the last couple of days trying to get the kinks out of this. I think I conquered it about 3 minutes before I got the stream ready to start. I had to cancel the last stream about a half an hour ago. Like, what I do in the background, you can't imagine. I know I say that to people, and I shouldn't say it. I don't think it matters how hard I work all day, every day, relentlessly for years, or the fact that I covered 9,000 headlines before I went on the ocean and done any of the expeditions for life. Fukushima Japanese ambassador. No single weapon competes with the potential damage from Fukushima Unit 4. No? Okay, hang on. So what he's talking about, I don't want to lose my spot here, that's all. Okay, I'll find that again. So he's saying, no single weapon competes with the potential damage if Unit 4 it blows up. This is the official picture they showed you when he was talking about it. But here's what it actually looked like. See? This is what it looked like. This is what they come out and showed you. Do you friggin' get it yet? Do you understand what they done to you? Hang on. Like, I want you to think about this tsunami, the detonation. This is what we focus on, but think about the tsunami. Think about the tsunami. Look at the carnage that it wrecks upon the country. It went up to 10 kilometers inshore, and like the charts I showed you before, around 400 kilometers of the coastline. Some of these pictures are not the best pictures, but that's what we got. We're lucky to have them. So here it comes. This took out 400 kilometers of the coastline. You know, I can't even imagine what goes through that person's mind as he stood there looking at his former world, at his former universe, at his former paradigm that he grew up and he was compartmentalized, say. I'm not saying he is, I'm just saying if he was one of those people that grew up and had a very comfortable life and lived there all their life. So you got all that, you know, your whole life of really good time, and then you just have one bad day. And that bad day never goes away. And it carries away your families and your friends and your loved ones and everybody around you, but you have to carry on. Look at these containers. These are transport truck containers. But look at the debris. This is out in the ocean. There's a debris field in the ocean 2,000 miles long. This was unimaginable. This ran through the country, and how many telephone poles do you see standing in that neighborhood? How many power pole lines do you see there? How many telephone poles with power sources you can reconnect power do you see here? Of 400 kilometers of the coastline where you swept away the entire villages and the communities and everything else. Where do you see the infrastructure? Here. Do you got any idea how long it took to put that road there? Through that carnage, through that incredible, unbelievable, unimaginable nightmarish, catastrophic. There's nothing to compare it to. I have nothing in my life I can compare to that moment, to that day, to that week, to that future. I have nothing I can compare that to. I have nothing I can draw up on in real life to say that I suffered like them people suffer. That I understand what they're going through. That I can't envision. I can in some ways that particular picture a little ways because I spent all my life on the ocean. And I understand the sheer terror that they could possibly be. I can't understand their exact emotions, but I can imagine the absolute unimaginable, surrounded by this raging storm and carnage all around you. And so when you look around you today, tomorrow, and the next day, you don't see that. You're not living that. You're not walking through that. You're not hoping and praying over that. You're not able to conceive that. You're not able to understand that, and neither am I. A picture doesn't do it justice. A picture doesn't drive the point home. A picture is not capable of it. What's going through their mind, if you were able to broadcast that out for 30 seconds, would shatter you, would leave you with, it would make you humble that you have running water and that you have electricity and that you are able to smile or that you are able to feel joy. They can't. When something like that comes to your country, it is worse than anything imaginable. But then to have nuclear on top of that is too much to bear. And the country has snapped under such enormous misery and agony and heartbreak. And that's why they're hiding it, because they can't carry on with just what they got to deal with every day, let alone carry on with the radiation on top of that. And so they blocked that out. And a lot of people done it for money in Japan, in the government. But a lot of them were so, I don't know if post-traumatic stress describes it in any kind of shape or form, but that's one of the few things I can withdraw upon to try to give you some context without conjectures. But it's just a conjecture because we're not there. And so where's the telephone poles? There's one right there on the ground, I think. So 300,000 plus becquerels a square meter. A square meter is where your child stands up with an umbrella over their head. It only included iodine 131. There's 10 times more iodine 132, 30 times more iodine 133, 31 times more iodine 133, and 31 times more iodine 129. It's coming up. I'll show you that in a little tiny bit. And then that's just a tracer iodine. So if there's 300,000 becquerels, then you got to multiply that by 31 for the 129 with a 15 million year half-life. Multiply it by 30 for the 133 with a 5-day half-life times 10. A half day is times 10. A half-life is times 10. But the reality of it is that all the other these are tracers. So that meant everything else was there. The americium, neptunium, the plutoniums, the uraniums, the strontiums, all the cesiums, and unimaginable quantities. And curium is the biggest product coming out of the fuel plant, not iodine, not cesium. It's curium, and which is a fissionable product, and it's produced after the chain reaction in such an abundance. It's well known, but they kept it away from you. That's why if you go back and look through history, all you hear is iodine and curium for 98% of the articles you're going to read. Inhaling just one radioactive hot particle can and will cause cancer, but cancer takes 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years to manifest, show up, get diagnosed. And there's 1,800 diseases will show up beforehand. Let me come back over here for a second. And, hi Zoe. Zoe joined the frame. Hi Zoe, you okay? Yeah, big smiles. She always gives you these big smiles when she... I'm having a cigarette. Anybody's offended? Please feel free to jump out a window, put it on YouTube so I can enjoy it. Okay, I made that part up. My cigarettes do not have 7,000 chemicals. But your friends and loved ones and families and anybody else that you know that smoke most likely do. And so it's not nicotine that gives you cancer, it's the 7,000 chemicals. And because I've been under so much stress the last couple of days, I've smoked a couple of cigarettes without the chemicals. I'm not a bad person for smoking a cigarette without a chemical. And just, I want to put that out there so people know there's cigarettes out there without chemicals. This is all. It's a little rough putting it out there that way, Dana, but a single hot particle. And everything from the reactors are hot particles. Everything. Particularly from Japan. Particularly from a meltdown. Particularly from detonations. Former Department of Energy official criticized this, a Berkeley professor, for comparing ingestion of radioactive iodine to air travel. Yeah, and he's criticized them because a banana, got nothing to do. The potassium 40 is homeostasis. Your body regulates it. You can't get any more in your body than you have naturally. And everything has potassium 40 in it, and everything treats it as homeostasis. If you try to add potassium 40 to anything, there's only so much you can put it there that's already there. It won't accept it. Off-gases it, for lack of better explanation. But it can't hold anymore. But man-made, you can keep piling it on. It'll keep accumulating it. It'll keep sequestering. I'll kill that, just because the smoke is in the screen. I got 2 doors open and the window open. And I don't got 7,000 chemicals. Don't have a seizure. Don't go in the corner and defecate on yourself. Because you're seeing Dana with a cigarette. People inhale up to 85,000 becquerels of radioactivity in just 4 hours. Once again, for a Berkeley professor comparing it, this is what all professors at every university is going to do. If asked to speak publicly, if asked to be on the record, if asked to be candid. That's why they got the job, is because they're puke machines. That's a puke machine. Anybody says like it's on an airplane is the same thing as smacking you in the mouth and telling you to shut your mouth. That's exactly what they done to you. That's exactly what they're doing to you. That's exactly why they done it to you. They smacked you in the mouth as hard as they could, told you to get lost, told you to shut your pie hole. It's like a banana, get lost. Like getting on an airplane, shut up! You're too stupid to know. That's what they're saying to you. That's what a nuclear scientist is saying to you. That's what a nuclear pro blog is saying to you. All nuclear pro blogs do it, every one of them out there. Atomic Insight, Nuclear Notes, James Conqueror from Forbes, every one of them out there. Every one of them out there does it to you. And that's what they're doing to you. They're calling you an idiot. They're making fun of you. They're ridiculing you. They're calling you a moron. They're calling you a useless piece of shit. They're telling you to shut your fucking mouth. Shut your pie hole. That's what they're saying to you when they say it to you. When they say it's like a banana, say it's like a potato chip, you're at a lecture, they just told you to shut your fucking mouth. They just call you an idiot. Yeah, that's a fact. That's what they done to you. They call you an idiot. They call you a moron, call you an asshole. That's what they're doing. It's no different. You don't understand it. Now you do. When someone tells you that, you should tell them to fuck off. When someone tells you like a banana, your instant reply should be, go fuck yourself. Go fuck off, you moron. Don't say it low, say it nice and loud so everybody can hear it. Say, banana got nothing to do with a chain reaction. I'm not listening to another word from you. Get up, walk out. You should go to their lectures just so you can do that. Say, hey, banana got nothing to do with a chain reaction. I'm leaving. That's all you got to do. That's not illegal. That's not an act of defiance. That's just saying, hey, I came here to hear the story. If you're going to lie, I'm not sitting here. I want my money back. I want my money back, and I want it right now. You go to their lectures, you say, I want my money back. The minute they say it's like a banana, potato chip, getting on an airplane, sleeping next to somebody, or anything like that, anything to do with natural, stupid, I'm going to start yelling, everyday, normal, indigenous radiation. There's only 160 of them. We got thousands of man-made ones. They're ionizing, they're radiated. There's 6 times more breast cancer if you live around a nuclear power plant, 20 times more leukemia for children if you live around a nuclear power plant, 20% more rather, that we know about. A lot of kids move away. Every 3 or 4 years their families are moving. Who knows what the real numbers are? They build them in big cities because there's so many transient people. Why not build them 50 miles away? Oh, you can pump the power 1,000 miles down the coast, but you can't build a nuclear power plant away from the city for some reason. You got to take up all that real estate right there. Clean, green, 2 cheap meter. Boom! Anybody says that to me, I don't give a fuck about you. I'm so tired of that lie. I'm so sick of it. 70 years. We covered 9,000 headlines before we went on the ocean for 260 days, up to 5 months without coming home. 15,000 miles. That's up at the Nuclear Proctologist. I show it almost every day. The whole coastline's missing. The 4 million other species don't come in. I'm demonized and vilified and attacked constantly, relentlessly, endlessly, ridiculed, mocked, humiliated, because I say that the things I say. I back it up with the documentation. There's nobody else on the planet does it. I'm it. Everybody else is coward, too afraid to go out, too afraid to tell the truth. You know, how hard would it be to deal with an issue if we didn't have everyone lying to us, if we didn't have all the media and all the institutions saying it's like a banana, unless the terrorists get it, then it's a dirty bomb. 85,000 becquerels, and that's on the iodine. Once again, they're punching you in the mouth, they're kicking you in the face, they're stepping on your life, they're destroying your friends and your families and your loved ones, because they say they only talk about iodine. They only talk about, you know what I'm saying? Like the people who done the study, they talk about iodine. Because the academics know that when you see iodine, everything else is there because that's a tracer. 40% of the Fukushima visitors show an internal exposure to radiation. The walls are 40%. June the 2nd, 2011. June the 2nd, 2011. March, April, May, June. 40%. Internal. And every one of them, they're dead people walking. Dead women, dead children, dead men walking. It takes 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years for the cancer to manifest. They get diagnosed. But diabetes is rampant down there because that's one of the manifestations of radiation illnesses. And besides Alzheimer's and dementia and heart, liver, lung, respiratory, breast cancers will show up fairly quick. Leukemia will show up right away because it's sequestered into your bones. You're producing mutated stem cells. Japan Times, the walls are cracked below the ground of Fukushima reactor building as if the damage above ground isn't enough to worry about. And it was. It was completely Richter. Military unit was severely contaminated when number 3 exploded. Exploded! Well, finally somebody admitted it. Media will show you building 1 and 2, but won't show you 3 and 4. And if you do show you 4, they'll show you a beautiful interior. You living? You got to hold the people accountable or they won't stop lying. 2 of the guys were so radioactive they couldn't stand next to each other. No one got hurt, Dana. It's like bananas, Dana. Boom! Hey, what are you doing on your back? Mystery black substance has 1 million plus becquerels a kilogram of cesium. Cesium's just a tracer. It's just a tracer. A tracer. Cesium, iodine, cesium, iodine, cesium, iodine, cesium, iodine, cesium, iodine, cesium, iodine, iodine, cesium, cesium, iodine, 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 cesium, cesium, cesium. What about the thousands of other radioactive isotopes? Why not tell everybody it's just a tracer? Why not do at least that much? Go look at all the studies on radiation and they'll call it a tracer. But you go into the media and they'll say, oh, there's iodine there. The scientists are worried. What? What's his name? What's his name? Stop fucking doing that. Scientists are worried. What's his name? What's her name? We don't care. I don't care what institution it is. What is the name of the scientist, or your article is garbage, or your media broadcast is garbage? What is their name when you do that? Scientists say it's like eating a banana. Sometimes you'll roll them out. Like John Neal from Oklahoma University. Oklahoma, they make dirty bombs at McAllister with an A, bomb manufacturer in McAllister, Oklahoma. All they make is dirty bombs. The A-10 Warthog, all it shoots is dirty bombs. Everything on it is a dirty bomb. And it shoots 1.5 tons a minute. That's the animosity equivalent of 44,000 Nagasaki bombs worth of radiation be released into the environment. That depleted uranium, DOLRAM, it used to be called DOLRAM. No one knows how they got rid of the acronym on it, but they call it DU now. But DOLRAM, depleted uranium, low-level radioactive material, that's a dirty bomb. Terrorists get it, dirty bomb. You take it, explode it in some community, dirty bomb, you go to jail for life, vilified forever, documentaries, movies, all kinds of books. He was a terrorist. He took the depleted uranium, blew it up in our fuel pool, put it in our swimming pool, put it in our drinking water. But we fired 5.5 million rounds a month of munitions, and the majority of that was dirty bombs from McAllister's bomb manufacturer in McAllister, Oklahoma. Dirty bombs is all they're making. That's all the A-10 Warthog shoots is dirty bombs. That's why they fly low. Only takes one bullet to kill a tank. What? You can't kill a tank with the other bombs you got? Like you haven't got enough bombs? They were using, they make bullets for rifles that are uranium. 5.5 million rounds a month to get 10,000 bad guys. Don't bother calling them Taliban or Mujahideen. Shut up, morons. They're just people. They bleed. If they shoot them, they fall down just the same as you shot me. No different. They're not Superman. They're illiterates, for Christ's sakes. They're not even educated. They got rifles. And you come after them with tanks and satellites and drones and jets and helicopters. There's just incredible amounts of munition on it. And you shoot up the entire country because there's 3 of them in there somewhere. In Syria, you wrecked the entire country, 7 million refugees, and you wrecked every building in the country. Every building in the country. And you started the Syria war a couple of days after Fukushima. As soon as the Syria war ended, boom! You had detonations in Belgium. Right? In Brussels. Now the war on terrorism in second gear again. You got to go to war against somebody else because you destroyed. There's nothing to bomb left in Syria. And then you imported them all over the world. Something you've never done before. Ever. Israel got 5 million Palestinian refugees, for Christ's sakes. They control non-stop, but they can't control the 1.7 million they just can't control the 10,000 Hamas. I mean, 10,000 Taliban. You wrecked 28 million in Afghanistan, left 6 million orphans. Millions dead, millions missing, millions refugee camps. Millions unaccounted for. All of them without homes. All of them starving to death. All of them without IDs. All of them without patents. All of them without pensions. You've done the same thing in Iraq. You've done the same thing in Libya. Same thing in Syria to get 10,000 bad guys. You're fucking morons. You're morons. You're idiots. You bought into that because the media sold it to you, but you're idiots for not asking questions, for not looking yourself, for sitting there, we gotta get them. They bombed us, we gotta go wreck that entire country. Yeah, 5 million orphans is a pretty fair price to pay to get 10,000 guys. So by proxy, if we had 10,000 Taliban showed up in Canada, then we could wreck every building, every street, every telephone pole, every infrastructure in Canada to get those 10,000 bad guys. Because they might kill a few people, chop a few heads off. And they were created and funded by the CIA and the FBI and the rogue elements in our government that are out of control. They're out of control. Let's keep going on the headlines. But they're out of control. You people are out of control. No, I support the war on terror. Millions dead, millions missing to get 10,000 bad guys. They're morons. I'm not saying to the people who's watching the video. I'm just talking to the puke machines out there. Nearly 5,000 nuclear plant workers suffering. Suffering. Look at the word suffering. Suffering. Internal radiation exposure after visiting Fukushima. Internal radiation exposure after eating Fukushima. Here we go. Keep going. Over 1,000 nuclear workers have internal radiation counts of 10,000 counts per minute. That's not potassium 40, okay? You remember the headline earlier? One atom, they got 10,000. One atom will cause cancers, they got 10,000. People got no heart. People got no soul in the nuclear industry. They don't care. Most don't know, but reactor 1 melted down in 5 hours. How can you almost lose 1/3 of the nation due to 4 buildings? How do you lose 1/3 of the nation due to 4 buildings? How do you get 30 million one-ton bags from 4 buildings? Same way you kill the Pacific Ocean with 4 buildings. It's the same way you almost lost. You did lose 1/3 of the nation. Everything north of Tokyo is highly contaminated. Everything. Everything north of Tokyo is blocked in most countries for food imports. Average person in Seattle breathed in 10 radioactive hot particles a day. I'm gonna play a clip for you coming up from Japan. He's going to go and set the video at the same time. I'll get the volume up in one second.
Computer simulation shows how radioactivity is spread around the world from the disabled Fukushima Daiichi plant. The simulation was created by a group of researchers at the University of Tokyo and Kyushu University and released on Wednesday. The simulation is based on the scenario in which contaminated air was vented from the disabled number 2 reactor building on March 14th, 3 days after the massive earthquake and tsunami. Computer images show the radioactive material was lifted 5,000 meters into the air. It was then carried by westerly winds and spread over the Pacific Ocean. The images indicate that on the 4th day after being vented, the substances reached the west coast of the United States, and on the 7th day, they approached Iceland after crossing the Atlantic. The radiation was down to 1 billionth level compared to when it was emitted on March 14th.
影響という観点から言えばですね、非常に小さかった、非常に限定的であった、特にそのアジアへの影響はですね、ほとんどないというふうに考えます。
So, 1 billionth level it was originally. And so you only need one plume coming out of there. But that model is only based upon releases from a single reactor, right? Australian forecast map shows possible radioactivity east of Los Angeles by March the 18th. This was 4 days after Australia had put out a forecast of the releases that were announced, that they vented, not the detonated buildings like I showed you earlier, not the meltdowns, not the spent fuel pools, not the 15 reactors that were in distress and destroyed and damaged, and 10 of them should be torn down by the governor like I've shown you earlier. Latest forecast is all California. That's the Norwegian Institute for Air Research. Once again, here's another one, right? 137 is just a tracer, but it was high altitude radiation cloud concentrating. This is only based upon a couple of days releases, not based upon the ongoing constant releases, the detonations, the meltdowns, the spent fuel pools full of reactor cores. No. But here's a model based upon what they emitted to originally. This was the IRSN, France's Institute, and this was National Norwegian Institute for Air Research, saying they're going to end public forecasts and they're just going to give it to the big corporations only, because they look like that. Here's Canada, went out and flew along the coastline. Canada said several studies on the radioactive. This is March the 18th. There was already several studies. We've never seen them. From Fukushima nuclear power plant already exist. Really? By the 18th, Canada had several. It said the Fukushima plume provided a nice opportunity. Whoever wrote that should be shot and hung at the same time. to test radioactivity detection capability. Provided a nice opportunity. Like, these are the words of mental illnesses. That's the words of somebody that got a real severe mental illness. My cigarettes don't got 7,000 chemicals. Oh, cigarettes, nicotine causes cancer, Dana, not 7,000 chemicals. Who's going to say that to me, eh? Who's the moron out there going to utter those words? We got a little blurp blurp there. Hang on. Blurp blurp. I'll fix it. That was supposed to be fixed. I fixed it. So here's British Columbia, Canada, flying over the country. Vancouver Island, every 15 minutes they're taking a sample. Every 15 minutes, what you're seeing there is the samples they were taking, right? Every 15 minutes, they took a sample, and then they produced a model. They hid that away for a couple of years. We never seen that for a couple of years, right? But look at the model. There's another model based upon just a couple of days' releases that was vented, not from the detonations, not from the fires, not from the explosions. None of these are. It's because a gram can produce 88 times 37 billion of man-made stuff, whereas natural is 0.0005071, 10 millionths of 37 billion. I know that's confusing. Should be anyway. It's not supposed to be, but they make it confusing, see? And this stuff has half-lives of billions of years. Well, I'm sorry, hundreds of thousands of years. As if that mattered. Look at the models. All kinds of models. These are all based up on the first week or 2 weeks showed up, based up on 2 days of venting. Not based up on the detonations. Not based up on the massive fires. Not based up on the carnage along the coastline, all the other reactors, not based up on the spent fuel pools that were on the roof of each of the buildings that are missing on a couple of buildings and are known to be missing in the other two. How many models do you need to see anyway? This is NOAA, but this is not based up on real projections. This is just based up on jack shit compared to what actually came out. These models are not even based up on the amount that came out of Chernobyl. These models are based up on just a venting from a single reactor. They've never produced a model of the actual meltdowns. Let's keep going. Running out of time. Here's another model. And by the way, the ocean currents are real. I know that's going to come as a shock to some people. And that's why this one exists. This is only based upon a couple of days releases of a couple of isotopes. Same as all the other models. They're not based upon the actual meltdown, melt-through, melt-outs. Yet the average person in North America, hang on. See, this symbolism of nuclear is not a representation of potassium-40 or rubidium or carbon or nickel or anything else that's natural on the planet. That stuff were acclimated through genetic superior selection. Everything in these symbols, everything on the planet has a visual reaction to it. Their body attacks it relentlessly for decades and floods itself with white blood cells, displacing the oxygen in the red blood cells, allowing 1,800 autoimmune diseases and deficiencies to show up before the cancer manifests. Australian forecast. I mean, this is a typical nuclear or university professor or media pundit when it comes to nuclear. This is what they really look like when you go home at night. What you got to do is you got to say no, 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 no. You got to get in their faces. When they say bananas, you got to say no and leave. You got to say, I want my money back. You're here lying. They're burning it in the incinerators. In Japan, they're burning it. This is the dust coming over. I think this one in particular. No, this is Fukushima, right? I got one coming up in dust. Is government trying to contaminate every region of Japan? Got to remember that the forest fires Think about when they have forest fires in Japan or Asia, it comes across and adds to your pollution indexes. Because the jet streams and the Pacific corridors are real. They're actually real. They studied it through pollution. They studied it through industrial pollution from automobiles and factories come to North America and add to your pollution indexes for months at a time. It lingers all over your country. And deposits pollution all over your country. And it does that with dust. They've done big studies on dust coming over from Asia. These particles, like forest fires, like pollution from automobiles from Asia, like dust coming over from Asia, these are thousands of times bigger than the man-made stuff. And we produce, in those reactors, each of those reactors was 5 million pounds every 18 months to 20 months. And they take it out and put it on the roof, 5 million pounds at a time. The official story, like the official pictures, was full of lies. The official story now is they got around 1,100 rods there. Each reactor has 2,800 rods. Each rod is 18 pounds each and 12 feet long. There's 4,340 assemblies in each of those plants. Each assembly got 80 rods. And so a pound of this rod, if you put it in a building with 1,500 people, you kill everybody in the building in 20 minutes. Everybody in the front row in 1 minute, everybody in the back row by then in between is dead in 20 minutes. Drag all the bodies out and do that perpetually till the end of time, get rid of everybody and then all the animals on the planet. And that rod will still be vicious, still be deadly. That's why we want you to come out. That's why we want some kind of solution. Because that's why we have terrorist laws. That's why we spend billions of dollars at each plant on security. Meanwhile, Japan is allowed to burn it in the incinerators and send it over here, like the forest fires, like the automobile pollution that comes over, like the sandstorms that come over. Fukushima will start burning radioactive waste, 100,000 becquerels a kilogram, to be incinerated. 1 billion pounds of debris. That's not counting the 30 million one-ton bags. And a lot of that stuff, they're storing it at the incinerator sites. Japan is burning stuff at their site. Full time, 24 hours a day. They'll take nuclear fuel rods and everything and put it in there. The material from the detonations. And they'll burn that too. All the highly contaminated stuff, they'll bring it over on a remote control forklift and they'll drop it in the incinerator and burn it. As long as the winds are blowing in North America, right? That's the time to do it. That's what they've done. That's what's happening. But according to the ocean, the wind can change and blow it right back in again. Blow it all over China to the right of it. And blow it all over Vietnam to the left of it, and the Philippines and everywhere else. Well, the Philippines are first and Vietnam is behind that. The typhoons is picking it up and liberating it throughout the entire country. The storms are washing it out of the trees and the mountains and the streams. But like if I take a section of land and I sprinkle radiation over that land, what happens? It irradiates the trees, irradiates them. So you know how you take a screwdriver and you put it on a battery, hook up a few wires to it, now you can have a magnetized screwdriver. It's really simple. Radiation does the same thing when it falls on stuff. That's why we have transgenic waste, right? By the way, WIP is planning on putting plutonium-238 down the WIP. But WIP was licensed for what? Transgenic waste, like clothing and contaminated hammers and contaminated equipment from nuclear power plants. Not for nuclear waste, see? But here they are claiming they're going to put that down there now. They claim there was no releases and they're still wearing suits to go down there because there's releases. They're claiming there's no releases and they can't change the filter because it's too radioactive. They're claiming no releases, but 90 people had internal radiation doses. They're claiming no radiation releases, only a little tiny bit, like no damage outside of the plant itself. But yet, the accident happened on a week before they announced it. A week before there was a truck fire, everybody left the WIP, the waste repository in New Mexico, right? Because you had a truck fire where there's 55 football fields. You had a football field, just a single one. There was a truck fall on the other end, truck fire. And all you got to do is move 20 feet and you're out of the direction of the wind. You're fine. They abandoned the mine for a whole week. Because it was radiation, not a truck fire. So the radiation was allowed to come out of there. We got the videos of it pouring out of the buildings from the mine shaft. So unbelievable lies, unbelievable manipulation, unbelievable deception, and unbelievable arrogance and contempt they have for you. And just hatred, just fucking hatred. They're just full of hatred. They demonized me and vilified me for saying, hey, wait a second, why did you abandon 55 football fields for a truck fire? KRQE Channel 13 come out and pummeled me for that one. Because I broke it down. I showed the documentation of what was going on. And anybody knows this if you look at it. If you have a detonation on the ground of nuclear waste, you got to get out of there. You can't get back in there. That's the problem with nuclear. It's the stupidest thing imaginable. That's why they got to lie to you. Anybody who tells you like a banana, why do you sit there and take it? Why do you put up with it? Why do you allow yourself and your friends and your families and everyone around you to be humiliated by allowing that person to continue that? Like if CBC or BBC or CBS put someone out there, why don't 1 million people get in their fucking faces? Twitter out and blast them. Because people don't know any better. They've got 70 years of brainwashing and manipulating. But now that you know better, now that you understand there is a difference, and that it's an insult to you. That's what it's meant as. It's meant to ridicule you and to trick you. That's all it's meant to do. It's meant to deceive you. And that's like when you give your loved ones chemotherapy, you sign a piece of paper saying, go ahead and kill my child. I can't sue you now. Or my friend or my family or myself. You can't kill. That's what chemotherapy is. You take a nuclear waste. That's supposed to be on a nuclear waste site till the end of time. You're injecting it into someone's body. How fucking stupid and gullible are you? Only because you believed in the media, you believed in your doctor, you believed in the nuclear industry, you believed it was like a banana. Why don't you put bananas in you if you get sick? Why don't you fill up my room full of bananas if I get sick? Will that make me better? What are you, moronic? What are you, stupid? If I fill my house up with nuclear waste, will I feel better? If I inject it into me, will that make me feel better? Will that make me better? How can it? Look at Dr. Raymond Gilmetty's studies on beagle dogs and beagle puppies. I'm just going to start yelling. Better not. I just get so pissed off. I get so frustrated. And they all get all the traction out there as long as they do that. I'm here bringing you the truth, and I have to beg all the time to raise money to do anything. And they get it given to them. They can do whatever they want, as long as it's lies, as long as it's manipulation, as long as it's deception. They can get all the money is given to them. If I come out and ask for it, I'm an e-bagger. But I'm on a site where 90 million other people have a donate button, but I'm the bad guy because I got one. It's really shocking, you know. There's a link directly to my PayPal under my videos on Beautiful Girl by Dana on YouTube. 300 times more radiation released into the atmosphere from burning debris than claimed by the government, and you can donate at the Nuclear Proctologist with your credit cards. We've been doing that for 2 years, totally legit. It funded 5 expeditions along the coastline of British Columbia, Canada. And that just on its own is amazing. Chernobyl's with the world's worst. This is 2006, John Vidal. 20 years on, Vidal reports on the cleanup, the false medical records, and the communities that refuse to leave, and the continuing cost of people and planet, and planet, and planet. Look at the third sentence. For the next 10 days, spewed equivalent of 400 Hiroshima bombs worth of radioactivity across 150,000 square miles of Europe and beyond. 150,000. So look at this study. For 200 miles of the coastline, and because they didn't find the urchins or they weren't in abundance, the Smithsonian and National Geographic declared a mass mortality because of 200 miles. Okay. We covered 15,000 miles in a little dinky. And instead of being just amazing, inconceivable, unimaginable, like it has been for billions of years, just unbelievable, inconceivably gorgeous, it was naked. These are all from Louise Nerles and the Queen Charlotte's. This is when I was up there on the expedition. Here's a little zodiac on the beach. All gone. And that bird that was over my head that day, he's not going to find anything to eat, is he? It's not like he can just go land anywhere like it used to be. You can go land anywhere and find something to eat, yeah? Used to be amazing. Used to be everywhere. Every millimeter, every square inch. Now, that same spot, 5 years after, well, that was 4 years after Fukushima when I took these pictures and that picture. We took 3,000 pictures of Louise Narrows because Louise Narrows is at the top of that page there. On your left-hand side of the arrows, pointing out towards the ocean in red. There's a bunch, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 little arrows there at the bottom of that archipelago of islands at the top right-hand side of... Now, I created that chart as just a representation. We spent 2 months in that group of islands in this boat. Not we, me, by myself, and the hounds of Fukushima and people all over the world supporting us. And we done that whole coastline. And instead of looking like that, it was all gone, every bit of it. Gone permanently, too. And they're still burning it in the incinerators. There's no one to hold them accountable. Only us. That's it. We're the blowback. Fukushima plant will burn radioactive waste right around the clock. Okay, stream's over, I guess. Japan's secret promise with the U.S. to burn plutonium. Don't matter. They're burning it at all over the place anyway. Includes, this is at the incinerator to run around the clock, right? Now at the same time, think about this headline. Japan's secret promise with the U.S. to burn plutonium, but they're also burning all the radioactive waste right at the Fukushima plant. So they're going to be burning that plutonium right there. That's what they're up to. And where does that go? That comes right across the ocean to North America, yeah? You better believe it. If the information and documentation I showed you doesn't make you understand that this is not like a banana, not like a radio banana, it's because you've been coerced and tricked and deceived by the thugs that come across as little angels that are there to harm you, like those baby ducks, chicklets. Well, let's come over and say good day to everybody. We're at the weekend. I'm probably too tired to go out and about this weekend. I'm just burnt out from trying to get this stream the last 2 days. I'm literally worn out. Now it says the live stream has ended. But we're not ended, so I'll just move that over. We'll say hi to everybody. We'll call it a day. It was a good stream. Like you say, right up to the very last second. It took me right to the very last second before I got the stream to work. Yesterday was a nightmare, 25 minutes. I think I got that solved. I'm pretty sure though. But like I said, it was such a big struggle. It just took so much out of me. And at the same time, I was finishing up the boat. I wanted to go out this weekend and do a bird count, a bird species count for 2 days. It's probably done a good weather. We're going to see like that for a long time. Who knows? Could be all good weather for another couple of months because of summer coming. Hello to everybody. Thank you, Pam. White Sparrow. Bruce. Zipfree. Terry Ann. Nova. Hi, Terry. Nova. Nolan. Shanikin. Hugs for Elaine. I'll bring up the other camera so I don't look like a total dork, I suppose. Hugs for Elaine. Thank you, honey. Mickey! Nip Killer! Bruce! Remember, folks, you can donate for Kate at the Fukushima Hounds. It's time to start taking care of that lady, too. Give her a little... Everybody donated $5 or $10 to her, for goodness sakes. You consider all the work she has done, how she supported us when we were on the ocean as a rallying point for everybody. I hope everybody can find it. You'll find links below my YouTube videos at Beautiful Girl by Dana directly to her PayPal account, and that'll always be there from here on out. So hugs for everybody. Take care, folks. Thank you, everybody. Siegfried, everybody, Mickey, Shanikan, Terry Ann. I know I missed all kinds of people, but hey. Nip Killer, illusion is over. Did I miss anybody? Chuck, Andres, and everybody else I didn't say hi to. Thank you for having the patience the last couple of days. I know it's been a nightmare. I know. I haven't stopped. But I still might make some day trips out onto the ocean. I'll just end up with that for the weekend, but I don't know if I'll be going out and spending the night on the ocean. I'll go out and spend a few hours. I just want to go out and see how many birds I can find, see if there's any fish jumping, see if there's any activity, talk to a few fishermen along the way, and just get away from what I do all day, every day. And since we come ashore, it's been 5 months since I made a couple of short trips out and done bird counts. Were devastating already, but not like I want to do right now this weekend. But it looks like, who knows, we'll try. Hugs for everybody. I'll catch everybody on Monday at livestream.com. I'm Dana Durnford, the Nuclear Proctologist. Find a higher quality up at Beautiful Girl by Dana on YouTube.